I like what's the guy from Japan?
Inoue?
Yeah.
Do you foresee potentially at some day you guys meeting together, maybe at a catchweight, or maybe if he keeps going up in weight?
Probably.
In reaction to Dan's recent challenge, a number of prominent figures have asked Naoya Inoue to face Tank Davis. Naoya Inoue responded, "Floyd Mayweather has been complimenting Japanese boxer Inoue and has consistently expressed interest in seeing him fight."
The difference between those two guys is just too significant. Feels like it's just too big of a jump for him to possibly fight a guy at 130. So that lets me know right there that
It was mentioned that Stephen Fulton is a competent boxer rather than a powerful puncher when talking about Inouye's victory over him. But in their first fight, he gave Inoue a hard time against Naoya Inoue, a Filipino opponent. Remarkably, Inoue was in his 20s and Inoue was almost 40 years old when they fought for the first time. Floyd claimed that, particularly against someone that age, he should have been able to take out his opponent in their first encounter. "I would like Naoya Inoue to travel to the US to participate and submit to arbitrary blood tests. I think he's a really good fighter. I will not dispute that. I think he is amazing since he seems to have taken a lot of inspiration from my playbook." Floyd feels that Devon ought to be on the pound-for-pound list, but he thinks Tank has been left off because of his relationship with Floyd. Floyd questioned why Davis isn't yet on the pound-for-pound list and recognized Terence Crawford and Naoya Inoue for their merited spots. Floyd feels that because of his relationship with Davis, Tank doesn't receive enough credit. Bob Arum stated that he was skeptical of the match, citing Inouye's rise from 8 pounds to 122 pounds. He highlighted Tank's comparatively small recognition in Japan compared to Inouye's substantial fan base. Davis Arum questioned the logic of matching up a smaller boxer, 122 pounds, against a man who is essentially classified as a 140-pounder. Rushing a Tank is not a wise move. Davis, despite his popularity in the US Tank, sometimes finds himself in confrontations against opponents far larger than him. Tank may be tall, earning him the nickname Tank, but he appeared much smaller than Stephen Fulton. Despite this, he handled with ease. Nevertheless, facing Marlon Tails and possibly other fighters at 126 pounds will put him to the test. Pitting him against a 140-pounder would be a foolish move. Although fans were worried when they saw Tank next to Fulton, Tank handled the situation well at the time. Rolly Romero doubted Inouye's ability to defeat Tank, speculating that Tank would prevail. Romero noted that Inoue was talented, but bemoaned the fact that he couldn't speak English. Also, Jant is noticeably bigger than anywhere else. Liam Davies is confident he can defeat any featherweight opponent that is put in front of him. He was confident that anyone could succeed, saying that he expected any place to beat Talls and that anywhere might win the featherweight class. Liam Davies expressed his own desire to compete for a championship, but he also stressed the importance of keeping winning until the chance presents itself. Though the time is still undetermined, he sincerely believes he has what it takes to become a world champion and continues to be ready for that opportunity when it presents itself. Having met Inoue twice before, Naoya Inoue views Inoue as his most formidable opponent in many ways. Inoue highlights Inoue as possibly the most formidable opponent he has encountered in his career, saying, "I believe it's akin to facing a younger version of myself." There are many similarities in terms of power, explosiveness, and occasionally even intelligence. These similarities make the challenge more formidable, as it feels like confronting a reflection of my own past abilities regarding Inoue's upcoming fight. Inoue acknowledges that perhaps if Inoue had been younger, the outcome might have been different, but Inoue stands out as the toughest opponent he has faced in his career. Many have expressed the opinion that Marlon Tapales is a serious obstacle for him, almost like a nightmare. Inoue stated, "Well, Inoue needs to deal with my other fighter first and foremost. Marlon Tappas, you need to get on that right away." Now, let's hold off on talking about going up to 126 pounds. Before we discuss the next course of action, we should take care of the 22-pound dilemma. This fight is going to be fantastic. Inoue said he thought Marlon was different, pointing out that Marlon had overcome adversity in difficult circumstances. He said that because of his readiness for battle, Marlon doesn't mind taking on obstacles or being viewed as the underdog. Inoue said that Floyd stated that he was unable to directly compare the Japanese fighter's technique to any one person, but he did recognize the Japanese fighter's extraordinary abilities and called him a remarkable talent. Floyd compared the current era to the Mayweather-Canelo bout, saying that there is a trend in boxing to set up fantasy matchups. We constantly strive for the largest matchups available, which is why we've organized major fights, like Mayweather versus McGregor and Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Eventually, we might witness something similar with Moten. Bob Arum thinks Inoue is more skilled than Manny, and he even thinks that Inoue might advance in weight classes. Bob commented that Inoue was a boxer like no other they had ever seen, maybe even better than Pacquiao. Considering that Inoue wasn't a large man, he thought Inoue could grow up to junior lightweight or lightweight, but not to 140 pounds. When Bob was there, he emphasized the notable difference between Inoue and Fulton, emphasizing that Inoue was far larger than Fulton at 122. He said that Inoue was really something unique and acknowledged his admiration for Manny. Though Manny is well-versed in boxing, what can he offer Inoue? What does Pacquiao have that Inoue does not? Shakur Stevenson has expressed his willingness to fight and stated that talks for a possible altercation are still going on. He said they wouldn't jump to conclusions and would watch to see if talks came to fruition. If they did, he said, they would like the other party to take the initiative and confront them. The orator conveyed respect for Inoue, recognizing him as a remarkable combatant and confessing to having watched him intently in the recent past. They thought Inoue was exceptional in every way and gave him credit for his abilities, strength and speed, even if they thought he might be a little undersized. Additionally, the speaker brought up Shakur Stevenson's comparison of Inoue and Carmel Moten. Speaking highly of Camille, Stevenson said he sparred with him before to his most recent match against Yoshino and thought Carmel was the genuine deal. Praising Carmel's quickness, good boxing technique, and preparedness as an amazing fighter, he expressed enthusiasm about what lay ahead for him. Stevenson drew comparisons between Carmel's style and that of Inoue, emphasizing the latter's punch volume superior to the former. While Carmel was fast, accurate, and defended himself with a stance much to that of Inoue, but with more power in his punches. Stevenson noted that Devin may face opponents soon, but Bob Arum truly thinks that a few of them can defeat Davis. Bob stated that he thought Davis will be defeated by Shakur Teofimo, Lomachenko, and himself. He feels quite strongly about that. Bob says that Devin is a great boxer, a great performer, and a true talent. He does stress, though, that each of the three fighters named above is a superb athlete in their own right. Conversely, Devin has a list of possible opponents he would want to battle. He expressed interest in Haney, Lomachenko, and Teofimo when questioned about specific names, but he was less interested in someone who wasn't on his list. Shakur was brought up when asked whether he had missed anyone, but he was reluctant to confront him since Devin Haney might have to face Shakur Stevenson. Street Edwards believes there is a potential mismatch because of the stark size disparity, which makes him doubt the fight's possibility. Although Devin and Tank are only one-weight division away, Stevens stated his worries regarding a possible fight between them because of their significant weight differences. Although Devin followed the regulations and rehydrated greatly for his fight with Regis, Steven pointed out that there was a noticeable size disparity. Because both fighters would be dictating too much, he doesn't see the fight occurring. Devin is reluctant to fight Tank at 135 pounds, and Tank is unwilling to confront him at 140 pounds. Steven thinks the fight won't happen as a result, and both fighters will probably go different routes when it comes to talking about facing Gervonta. Inoue voiced his thoughts, saying that he didn't think it would be possible to fight him, and thought it was more fan-generated hype. That concludes our look at today's video. Inoue had expressed his admiration